Hello, my name is Beck and welcome to a video where I talk about my Brandon Sanderson collection. I've got 2 shelves of Brandon Sanderson and I would just like to share them with you, so we'll jump right into it. These are Elantris and Warbreaker, 2 of the books that are standalones by him, and these are the UK covers as well, which might be why they look a little bit different. Additionally, I've got Legion of the Emperor's Soul, which is a novella collection, as well as Arcanum Unbounded, which I was lucky enough to get signed and personalised when I met Brandon Sanderson in Sydney. After that, we've got my Mistborn set for the first era, for the Final Empire, Well of Ascension and Hero of Ages, and I got this coaster in a Fairy Loot box, or maybe an Owlcrate box. It was a long time ago. Additionally, I also have this little Allomancy candle, and I'm not a huge candle person, but I did plan to burn it eventually, which is why I've held on to it. Another item that I got from a subscription box is this Harry Potter mug, and you can see on my wraparound that I'm showing you of the little pumpkins. They look so cool, but I just keep it with the Mistborn books because it kind of matches the colour scheme. And then we'll dive into my Skyward collection. You can see I've got a bunch of them there, and that's not even all of them because my paperbacks are at my partner's house. This is the US cover as well as the US Advanced Reading copy, which is the ARC that people get who are usually reviewers before the release date of the book. I was lucky enough to trade for it, and so that's why I have a copy. And then now I've got the 2 hardcover books and my Pilot's pin that I was lucky enough to get. I think that was also in a subscription box. As well as that, I've got my little sampler here that I also traded for, as well as my ARC, and this beautiful Fairy Loot edition that has the yellow stained edges. So I really went ham on collecting for my Skyward collection, but I'm quite happy with how it turned out. And now I've also got to zoom out and then go on to my other shelf, which has a lot of my Cosmere books on it. So we'll go straight over to my Stormlight section, and we'll go with the little sampler that I've got, as well as the little hardback that's like a companion to The Way of Kings. This little sampler as well has a copy of Mistborn in it, and it's mildly annoying that they're upside down, but I guess it just adds to the charm. And I was lucky enough to get this one signed as well when I went up to Sydney and I met Brandon when he came over several years ago for a convention called Supernova. So it's one of my prized possessions because I don't think this is something that can be readily found, so I'm lucky that I got my hands on that. It travelled all the way from the US to Australia. It has definitely travelled more than me. And then we will go into my Stormlight archive set, which are annoyingly split into parts 1 and 2, even though they're the same book, and I've got Oathbringer separately, and it is all a combined edition. So it's very floppy and I love that. I also pre-ordered and received Rhythm of War by Brandon in the signed edition, and I'm so happy that I managed to get a hardcover because they're so difficult to find in hardcover for Stormlight. And thankfully I also have Words of Radiance in hardcover and Oathbringer in hardcover as well. I really got lucky with getting all of these in the editions that I want because the hardcovers go out of stock very quickly. And then, not to discriminate at all, I have my US Oathbringer edition as well, and I was lucky enough to have a friend in the US go to a signing for me, and so this book is actually signed as well, and it also has this beautiful colourful art and a map in it too. So I'm very grateful to have this edition, and I'm so grateful that Bookstagram and Booktube have brought people together internationally. Otherwise I never would have been able to get that signed. So now we'll just pan right across and I'll show you my Alloy of Law collection, and this is actually an advanced reading copy. And again, I've been collecting ARCs for a little while, as well as Shadows of Self, so these are also prized possessions of my collection. They're books that you can't buy because they are pre-release copies that are sent to people for review. So even though I don't love the US covers, I'm really grateful to have these on my shelf. And now again, going further along, I do have the US cover and the special edition of the Final Empire and then the Hero of Ages, and then moving right along into another arc of the Rhythmatist, and I also have the UK cover for that as well in paperback. I like the UK covers over the US ones, as you could tell. I've got a little booklet as well for Calamity. I think that was like a promo thing, and then in addition to that I also have this gorgeous map that corresponds to Mistborn. So I have Mistborn and my Sanderson collection scattered across a whole bunch of shelves, but after I have my own place to display everything, I can't wait to get this giant map framed because it looks absolutely spectacular, and I am really struggling to get all of it on camera at once. Okay, now I'm going to show you my Reckoners books. Are you ready for all my Steelheart editions? We've got the ARC, we've got the paperback of the US cover, and then we've also got my UK cover in paperback as well. well. And then we'll go into my other books for the Steelheart series, so Firefight with the UK edition as well. On the left there is the Advanced Reader's Copy 2. I went through this whole phase of collecting arcs, so that's really padded out my Brandon Sanderson collection. And then just to round off my Reckoners series collection, we've got Calamity and then the novella Mitosis, and we've also got in hardback as well Firefight and Calamity. And now I will just pan right out so I can show you a little bit further along. And we've got White Sand here, just volume 1. I haven't continued with this graphic novel series. I do kind of plan to in the future, but I'm not really sure. But I did not love this as much as I thought I would, and yet when I went to Sydney I ended up getting this one signed as well. So now it's stuck with me because it's personalized and I can't get rid of it. Not that I want to necessarily, but I feel like I should eventually continue on with this series. I've also got some Stephen Leeds books, so his novella collection, that entire series in the bind up and then in 2 loose editions as well as Snapshot. And now we've got my Bands of Mourning books, so this is the hardcover as well, that's thankfully signed by Sanderson, and I have a US edition signed as well, which my partner actually lost, and then he managed to procure me a new copy and he got it personalized by Sanderson's team as well, which was pretty cool of him to do. So those are yet another 2 that are part of my prized collection. I'm very pleased to have those. And now coming to the end of my collection, I've just got Shadows of Self here, as well as the rest of the Era 2 books, various editions as well in paperback and hardcover. So we've got Alloy of Law and then my little paperback as well of Alloy of Law, and of course we can't forget Mistborn: The Secret History, which is the novella that comes after the Bands of Mourning book. And then of course we can't forget Edge Dancer, which is connected to the Stormlight books, as well as my arc of Warbreaker as well, which is another prized possession of my collection. And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll come chat to you down below in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!